Hey guys, Amanda here. Don't mind the noise in the back. My mother and my son are playing. Okay, so this video is it's going to be a difficult video for me to talk about because it's going to be about what situations that have happened because of an illness, when the illness takes over. And I thought giving details into what happens would give people a better sense of what actually happens, and to just be more educated about it. And I hope people don't take what I have to say the wrong way. This comes from borderline personality disorder and bipolar disorder features, so part of it's kind of intermingled. So I'm going to give some examples, and I don't think this is something that is talked about in this way a lot. I can say for me, it's embarrassing. It makes me sad. It makes me feel, I don't like the way that I acted, the way that my illness took over, and it was scary for me. And I think it's important for people to really understand the inside, not just this person's ill and they had symptoms and then dealt with it, blah, blah, blah. So, okay. One incident that occurred was when I had gone to visit somebody and I was not on meds, and I was rapid cycling. I was having mixed episodes. I was dissociating. I was having all these symptoms, and then I decided to drink, and that was not a good idea. And I totally freaked out, and I don't remember much of it, but I do remember that the cops were called, and I didn't get arrested. I ended up going to the hospital. And what I had done is, we were arguing, and I went into his bathroom, and I vaguely remember, I literally took his toothpaste and I ripped it. I don't know how I did that. I do remember that because I thought it was so odd that I could do that. But I know that I did that because this person told me that I did also. And it was just a bad situation, and I ended up going in the ambulance to the hospital, and I had to stay there all night because I had to have my mother come pick me up because I wasn't allowed to go back to that property except to get my vehicle. So I ended up, staying in the waiting room all night long. It was crazy because I was 5 hours. Was it 5 hours? I don't know. It was several hours away. And that wasn't a good situation. I had to go to the courts. I got a summons. I ended up being able to go, and it was, it wasn't a problem anymore, but I'm not proud of that. I'm really not. Another incident was when the last person that I was with. The beginning of the relationship was great, but as it progressed, things started going downhill. We argued a lot, and I definitely wasn't well a lot of the time because when I met him, I was hypomanic, going up towards mania. And I think that's why our first relationship was so great, because I was flying high. And I think that I had gone from hypomania and I just kept going up to mania because when things went bad, I totally crashed. I drove him to work one day and we were having a massive, massive argument. was really bad. And, he got out of the car, and I was angry, and I ended up, I gunned it, and I kicked up rocks, because he was a mechanic, and I kicked up rocks, and the cars that were for sale, I almost hit them with it. Luckily, I was far enough away that I didn't, but I took off, and I went so fast, and I peeled out, and, I'm not really proud of that at all. That actually was the time that I decided, because we broke up a couple days after that, and I went from being to down, and I was so bad. I cried every day, pretty much all day long. It was horrible, and that's when I ended up one day going to the doctor's with my mother, because she had an appointment, and I couldn't function. So she got me in an emergency basis to see my previous doctor, and he gave me Celexa. And that was the start of me going to counseling and on the journey I am now. Another one was when I was at the gas station. And this was before I was diagnosed. I was at the gas station. And it was when my son was having a lot of his problems, and he was giving me a hard time, and he wouldn't get in the car, and he laid down on the ground, and I was having such a back pain back then. It was before my first surgery, and I was trying to get him up. I didn't have the strength to get him up, and he wouldn't get up. And this woman kept creeping in with her car, creeping. He's laying on the ground like this, creeping, right? And she gets out of her car, and she says, you really need to be a better mother. You need to take control of your child. This isn't a playground. And I was like, excuse me, my son has autism, and he has his own issues. I don't need to be told how to be a mother. And she's like, well, if you were any kind of mother, this would not be happening. And she went into the store, and it ticked me off. And when she came back out, I got in her face. I took one of those squeegee things that you use to wipe your car windows on, and I swung it at her a couple times, and I threatened her, and the police were called. I wasn't arrested, but it was just one of those situations it was so bad, and when it was happening, it didn't really feel like it was me. It was very weird, but I got out of control because I wasn't thinking clearly. I went from this situation, and I totally overreacted to that, and that's wherein lies the problem with that. And another time was when I went to a store, and I hadn't taken my meds that day, and I had gone around to come around the aisles to go to the register, and someone had a dog, and the dog jumped at me and almost bit me. It was growling. I mean, it literally was angry, and I was ticked off about that because the clerk didn't say anything. She did one of these, like, I didn't see nothing, kind of things, and that angered me, and I went out to my car, but then when I was out there, I was really upset, and I ended up going back in because I was going to ask about the complaint policy thing, and, she was giving me an attitude, just being really snotty, and it ticked me off even more, and I suddenly just got really rageful. Because when I was in the car, I was thinking about, oh my God, when I got attacked by a dog, it was scary, and this happened, and that was going through my mind before I went in, so I was already amped up on negative memories and experiences, and it got way out of hand. I was calling her names. I damaged some of the property. It was really bad. I didn't get arrested, but it was just an example of out of control behavior when you're ill. If I don't take my meds, bad things can happen. those are all that I can think of at the moment. I'm not proud of any of this. I wish I didn't. I wish I had not have had those experiences. I mean, in a way, they've helped me to assess, like, okay, this is what I did, and how can I improve on that? But at the same time, this wasn't supposed to happen. And, you have to understand when you're ill, things can happen. I tend to go more towards the rageful side, depending on the situation in mania, but I can also be the other kind as well. But that kind was definitely not the good kind. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share like more of the details. Maybe it'll help somebody, or maybe it'll educate people, maybe give you like a different perspective of like if you're inside this person's head and you're having flashbacks, or you're in a mind state where it's so intense you can't stop it, you can't control it, and you just do, rather than you're being it's irrational. It really is. And it can be difficult, but those are a few of the examples. And like I said, I hope you guys get something out of that. Hopefully. Okay, I'm gonna go now, so thank you all. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.